Hogarth. Go. Family portrait a la Hogarth with Clorox. Yep, 2020. December 26th, 2020. Family portrait a la Hogarth with Clorox. December 26th, 2020. Uploaded by Joachim. Again, this is Joachim Frank's blog called Frank's Fiction. That is a portrait of Hogarth. And I'll just go ahead and read what it says. I think it's pretty short what he writes. Yeah. And then we're going to break down this picture. Fabulous family portrait, a gift by Tom, our son-in-law, who is an artist, given to us on Christmas Day, 12/25/2020. It enters the annals of our pandemic time for two reasons. One is that it is COVID-19 that brought us closely together as an extended family in our house in Alfred, Massachusetts. The second reason is the explicit reference to the virus in the shape of a Clorox bottle held by both Carol and Tom, which replaces the equally ghastly dead pheasant dangling from their hands in the original Hogarth. Of note, our 10-month-old baby girl, Renata, who by now is able to pull herself up to the height of the coffee table, and the cat, is it Goatee, sitting atop the door as Goatee, the official name as it appears in the records of the vet, pronounced fish, is wont to do. Hence my glance to the right in the picture is directed to the cat, not to a servant as in the original. I'm dressed as a judge. My father was a judge. And hold in my hand the ubiquitous post 5 p.m. glass of wine. My daughter, Renata's mother, Mariel, is seen on the far left, operating her MacBook in a sense of duty even during the sitting-standing for the family portrait. Stretched out in the foreground, like a game trophy, is Daisy the dog, fixated as always on red ball. Without taking anything away from the credit to Tom, I should say that Daisy is rendered most lifelike among all. Who did I forget? Crouched in the corner on the left is the other cat, Ham. As always, recluse and upstaged by his outgoing brother, Goatee. Is it Gotti or Goatee? Below is a famous painting, I'm assuming it's meant to be painting, of the Constitutional Convention. It seems, at least in style, we fit right in. So, this entry was posted in blog and tagged Alfred Katz, Clorox, COVID, dog, Goatee, ham, Hogarth, wine. Bookmark the permalink. Chrysalis Project. Yeah, there's so much in these posts that I had already read so far, and so much that I just was picking up on, just breezing through some of the newer posts. So, there's Hogarth. For those of you who didn't make out what was being relayed through my meanderings through Joachim Frank's short blog post here, Hogarth was a famous painter. Joachim Frank's son-in-law, who's married to his daughter Mariel. So that would be Zay Frank's brother-in-law. He's an artist, and he drew this and gave it to, I guess, Joachim and his wife for Christmas in 2020. So, according to Joachim's description, this would be Mariel. This would be her husband, Tom. This would be Carol. This would be Joachim. And this would be Mariel and Tom's daughter, Renata. And that's the MacBook that Mariel's holding. Clorox, bottle of Clorox bleach, standing in for 2 pheasants. There's a cat standing in for a servant there. Could maybe say that cat there stands in for the other servant that's in the original painting. Let's go have a look at the original painting, guys, because so this is the painting, the original painting that Tom, Mariel's husband, based his drawing upon. This painting is called The Western Family by William Hogarth. William Hogarth is listed on official websites as having been a pedophile, and he's also Freemason, was a Freemason. Are we noticing certain color codings that I've already been pointing out? We're seeing the combination of the gray silvery color with the pink here on the young woman, the young wife. She's holding what looks to be like a little, Harry Potter wand. We have the blue over the red. The white frock is at central, and we've got the gold trim there. Black shoes, black cap, gold trim also. There are the 2 pheasants. Dead pheasants. This older woman, I've been trying to figure out if she's just wearing gray or she's also wearing the silvery gray, same sort of silvery gray that she's wearing. But she seems to be wearing, hers seems far more of a shiny silvery color, and hers seems a bit more, perhaps a mauve gray color, more muted mauve gray color. Note the little girl, white with a little red stripe down the back. That may suggest, I guess, that the red might be on the inside. The man, the judge, white over black. White within black. And the servant man there is red over white. So the little girl is white over red. Servant is red over white. This seems to kind of go in a circular pattern back around to the girl. There's a servant in the back there. I believe I read, at first I thought when I was first looking at this, I thought he was cleaning another, he was, going to town trying to prepare one of the birds that had been caught and brought in, but I guess he's supposedly cleaning and putting away a sword. Also make note of the mirror in the background and it's not a curtain, what is it called? I forget. You know what it is, though, that little sort of changing, not a curtain, but it's sort of a curtain, foldable accordion, blah, 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 whatever. You know what it is. It's meant to be a veil. It's meant to be a symbol of a veil. Like I said, it's the middle of the night. I'm ready for bed, but... So the mirrored veil. I've made reference to that before in past videos. That's the mirrored veil right there. That's what that means. That's the mirror and the veil in front of it. Now, I could get into this so much. I think I'm going to break down stuff about the pheasants in a different video. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I can feel it coming. I'm going to remake this video because I'm just too tired. I can't focus. There's way too much. I just like, there's so much I want to say. I have to order my thoughts. And there's more that I know I don't know yet and haven't figured out yet about this, that I can feel it. It's on the tippy tips of my mind. And it's going like, notice. Pay attention. What is it? It's like, what? What else do I have to learn about this? I know there is more to figure out about this. I've already matched up stuff like the basic first things that would jump out of you is the red of the father's trousers with the red of the little stripe down the little girl's back. Mix red and white, you get pink. Mix the blue and the red, you get purple. If you mix the blue and yellow and red, so like, let's leave this up real quick and let's bring up, go with color wheel again. So when we see pink, when we're perceiving the color pink, what we're actually perceiving are the light wavelengths for red and for purple mixed together. There is no light wavelength, as far as I know, of red. There's no light wavelength for pink. It's almost like pink is like a doorway. When we see pink, it's almost as if we're seeing a doorway or through a doorway. Because there is no light wavelength for pink. It's just not there. It's just that we're seeing these two opposite ends of the spectrum. Red in the infrared light wavelength. Red is typically on the infrared side of the spectrum. And then purple is typically over on the ultraviolet end of the spectrum. These are opposite ends of the visible color spectrum. When you combine the wavelengths of these two opposite ends of the visible color spectrum, the red and purple, that's what we perceive as being pink. But really, pink doesn't exist. What we're seeing is a sort of doorway, a sort of magic doorway, in a way, you could say, where these two opposites are combining and creating like a window, I think. Now the opposite of that would be the green-gray, which is like, look around at the earth. Earth is green, this green-gray, bluish place. The other opposite side, remember I pointed out in that the video I recently released where I went over some connections with the cell and hummingbirds, that movie The Cell and hummingbirds and sunflowers, how I pointed out that the other side would probably be, the foliage there would probably be shades of red and pink rather than green and blue, like greenish bluish, because these are, if it's opposites over there, then it would probably be more white. Everything would be more white and light there. And foliage and such would probably be more reddish, pinkish hues. Rather than down here, we're in a void. So it's darker and everything's greenish, grayish, bluish. And then like sort of the way we get silvery gray color is gray, supposedly, again, as far as I've understood it, gray is basically white light at half. So it's your three main colors. It's your red, yellow, blue, but only at half for all of them. You're only mixing like half for something like that. Just the ratios, basically. So it's sort of just white light toned down as far as, so think on those things. Also think on, if you added, so he's wearing blue over red. She's wearing red within white. How do we get that gray? Gray and pink. So it's that gray-green color. Look, see it as like, and there's even like shades of green in there a bit. That it's like a gray-green color with pink. So gray-green and pink opposites on the wheel. Blue and red are opposites on the wheel. Again, the gray-green, silvery gray color, and pink opposites on the wheel. The blue, the blue and the red that the guy is wearing opposites on the wheel, plus he wears that gold color. The way we would get this gray-green is mixing. I mean, you get a bright green by mixing the yellow and the blue, or you get this sort of gray-green by mixing the yellow and the blue and maybe a bit of that red. So imagine like applying this blue and red like to this white and red. Do you understand what I'm saying? Make note of the pink that's in her hair, in her bonnet, on her head. Look at her eyes. Look at her face, first of all. She looks like a docile cow. Make note of the pearls, chastity pearls, and the pink around her throat. She's pure in speech, pure in what she hears. She got pearls dangling from her ears. Pearls are typically a sign of chastity and virginity. She's not a virgin, though. She's a wife. And this little girl, I believe, is her child. And see the pink ribbon over her heart. Like she's been mixed. Like, you know, it's like she's been claimed. Her red's been turned pink. Remember, so the little girl is red and white. Now, remember what I pointed out before about when they switched dynamics over to, in The Cell, in that movie The Cell, over to the girl's mind, the woman's mind, the mother's mind. It was more red and white. She was red and white. Okay? So the girl is red and white. And remember how the guy in that movie, the killer guy, he was very much blue over red. Blue over red and gold. The red and the gold were within the blue. Remember that? Honestly, I think what's being depicted here, and remember they're called the Western family. I'm going to get into way more detail. There's so much more I have to say about this. My energy and my brain is puttering out, but I wanted to put this together, just a little reminder to myself, mostly, like, make more about this. You know that this is something you really need to do. There's so much to this, but basically I think that this girl looks like she's likely about 3 years old. Remember, I've mentioned in past videos that 3 years old seems to be a significant age for them, as well as the age of 12. There's a lot I'm going to get into about, like, you know, pheasants and what pheasants can symbolize. But note that this little girl is basically right there staring, you know, like, not staring, but she's looking right in the direction of the dad's crotch. I really do think that this is depicting some kind of weird ritual of incestuous rape, honestly. I think the original painting was depicting that. William Hogarth had all kinds of secrets that he painted into his paintings. I'll be breaking down others, like the marriage contract or marriage proposal, I believe it was called. I wanted to have like a whole video sort of dedicating to at least breaking down these two paintings by Hogarth, this one and the marriage contract or the marriage agreement. I forget what it's called, something like that. But this one, I at least wanted to point out, here's another connection. Joachim Frank has a whole post in his blog about William Hogarth and a painting was created by his son-in-law that has them standing in as the Western family. The Western family is displaying the whole color scheme here. We know that Hogarth was a Freemason. We know that his father-in-law, I believe it was his father-in-law, was a Freemason. We know that Hogarth is listed as having been a pedophile. He's listed officially on sites as having been a pedophile. Come on, guys. How many more connections do you need? Really? What do we need? Yeah, I really am getting tired. Oh, I should cut this off and go to bed. But I am trying to kind of at least get out a short clip every day. Looking more into whatever I can find about connections with pheasants. Like, I knew a few things. I just want to, try to cover as much ground as I can. Get as much of it straight in my own mind. And then it's easier for me to just ramble off to people. Let's see if I can open this up without showing their faces. I probably can't, so let's not. I don't know. Yeah, no. But this is the official Nobel Prize page for Joachim Frank, and I don't want to risk showing a face and getting in trouble. But I wanted to show you guys before, you could see sort of the lower half of that family picture. Let's see if I can just go real fast. Oh, yeah. I sped right through that. Real quick. I'm going to tiptoe up. And when I start to sense a picture. Oh, there it is. See, so we won't show any faces. We'll just show some feet and legs. Let's just creep up a little. The outfits, like I said, are all blue, except for the two women mothers on either side, the far right, the far left, and the far left. Jody Brandt and Carol Saginaw. They're both wearing all black and a silvery gray top over top of that. All the other adults, from what I can see, are wearing blue tops. Mariel, even though she's a woman, as of this photo, I believe she was not a mother. The other two are mothers. She's wearing, so Mariel in the center is wearing blue. You can't see it from only this much of the photograph, but Zay Frank is off to the far left behind his wife Jody. He's wearing blue. You can see it on his shoulder there. His son, who he's holding, his adopted son Jonah, is wearing blue with a little rainbow in the center of his t-shirt. It looks very much like... I've been zooming in trying to look closer and tell what Tom is wearing. It looks like it could be navy blue, could be black, could be... I can't, zoom in here, but... I want to say I think he's wearing blue as well. Just a darker shade of blue. Joachim is wearing khaki pants. But, so note that all the adults are wearing blue except the two mothers. They're both wearing black with a silvery gray over top. And the little boy's wearing blue. But the little girl's wearing that gray shirt over the pink skirt. And again, that aligns itself with this color wheel that was put together by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, who wrote Faust and wrote a lot about color theory. Goeth's family was friends with Joachim Frank's family. Joachim Frank, who's Frank's father. This is his blog, Frank's Fiction. This is Joachim Frank's blog, and he's referencing Hogarth here. And his son-in-law has also referenced Hogarth. Hogarth was also a pedophile. Goeth was a pedophile. Are we seeing so many connections, guys? When are decent human beings with a mind for protecting children from abuse going to start taking this seriously and going, oh, you know what? She might be onto something here. I'm noticing patterns too. These are very interesting connections and patterns. It's definitely way too much to be coincidence at this point. This is human conspiracy. We are so far fucking beyond coincidence and so well into human conspiracy, it's sickening. Can you people get the fuck up and do something about this? Who the fuck would do something about this? Somebody needs to. Who? Who's the person that gets paid to officially shut this shit down? Who do I go to? Who do I talk to? Because I hear FBI. I've heard too much in my research that certain FBI agents could be in on this. Certain CIA. Like I said, of course, are going to try to get sway wherever they can and insert themselves into whatever situation they can. So who do you trust? Other than take it to the public commons and hey guys, if you're a decent human being and you endeavor to protect children from inappropriate sexual encounters with adults taking advantage of them, abusing them, or using them in any way for selfish purposes, which is inappropriate, could you please start talking about this and show other people so that, it spreads and then that's how we deal with situations like this. This is how we get it fixed. Everyone starts talking about it until you can't ignore it anymore. And then something has to be done about it. All right? And hopefully the thing that's done won't be shut that bitch up. Hopefully it'll be more along the lines of shut these sicko, pedo, pervert, child rapists down. Throw them in little cinder block prison cells and make a cautionary tale out of them. But, just going off of the track record of world history, it's probably going to be the former. Still, here I am doing this stupid shit. Here's another Hogarth painting. Blue over red, plus the gray in between them. Remember, I said Valenti was wearing a blue hoodie sticking out of a gray sweatshirt and cherry red gloves beneath. Super coincidental, Valenti. Super coincidental. Wow. It's just serendipitous. Serendipity coming out the wazoo, guys. I'm living that semi-charmed kind of life, I guess. With that, I'm gonna go to bed. Good night.